This one is the one! The one episode I've been waiting for this whole entire time. That week break between Banana Fish was pretty freaking terrifying, I must say. I was like, boys, I want it back right now. Just give Banana Fish back, please. I haven't seen AJ in 1 week. My heart is busted. Okay? I haven't seen AJ in 1 week. I haven't seen Ash in 1 week. You gotta save me here, Mappa. Mappa did save me beforehand. Do not worry, Mappa had saved me beforehand. But, oh boy. And now we actually have the square off the century, I must say. The square off of the century. It's gonna happen this week. It's gonna happen. We're gonna see what happens here. Actually, also might in theory end the whole entire core as well, because I haven't heard any new announcements of a new opening just yet. So I imagine this fight will actually end the whole entire first core. So then it'll be interesting to see what actually does happen after this arc finishes, because once this is done, I believe everything in the opening actually happened. So we'll see what happens. This, I have returned to actually cover the long-awaited 13th. There, my throat's dying today, so that's why I've actually been. That's why I actually haven't been able to actually speak properly today. My throat's still recovering of just kind of being terrible lately. So yes, I have returned to actually cover the 13th episode of Banana Fish, and oh my god, as I said beforehand, that week break was just. It was certainly something. I was like, you leave me on the most cutest AG ever, and you give me that week break. What are you doing, fams? What are you doing, fams? Can't be doing this to me today. So, alas, it's here, and we actually will see what happens. So, without further delays, actually, a show on the road. So I need to see what happens. I am buzzing to see what happens. Right, so it's actually put on Twitter, actually gone live. So, gone live. I actually can't spell live. I spell live with a B. What's wrong with me? That rhymes 10 points. I gone live for Banana Fish episode 13. And voila. We are good to go. We are good to go. We are good to go. Right, lads, let's actually see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Right. Take a sip of my water because I know I'm going to need it. And let's get a show on the road. So in 3, 2, 1. Actually start this thing now. Why does Amazon Prime's full screen screw up constantly? Now see, that was a satisfying trip. That was a satisfying trip. And now that was a satisfying flip. Ah, so now we actually see the origin of where those scars came from. Ah, that's interesting. Guess it kind of actually adds a whole lot more emotional weight to the whole entire fight, actually, the more you think about it. Because theoretically, both of them do have a lot of beef with each other, so it's one of those things that adds a lot more weight to the fight. It isn't just a fight that's just happening for the sake of it. No, it's actually a fight that actually means a lot, and I actually quite like that aspect. It's actually kind of one of those fights that needs to happen, if you get what I mean, and not for the sake of it, just for the fact that the narrative is actually being kind of propelled to this one moment. And it kind of feels right. Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen that beautiful face. Oh, 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 my heart, my heart. Is I believe the fight between Arthur and Ash is the last thing that actually happened in the opening, because everything else has pretty much actually happened, I think, if I remember correctly. So I imagine this fight will actually kind of end the whole entire arc. Though it would be sad to see this opening go, because the opening is so freaking good. I must say, it's a good opening. So yeah, I don't know. I just want to check. I don't know what I would actually do if I don't see this opening ever again. Someone actually checked my microphone was actually on, just in case. Ooh! Double. Ooh! That's a double. Ooh. Ooh. It's happening, lads. It's happening. I guess what really does hurt as well is the fact of what Ash has to do to Eiji to actually kind of get him away. It really does hurt when you think about it, because he's a person that cares so much as well. Damn, it's actually dirty. That's dirty. Can't be doing that, man. Can't be doing that, man. Come on, Arthur. Jesus Christ, Arthur. I take it that's not what Arthur thought would go down. Oh man, the lighting in this part of the episode, whew, beautiful, beautiful lighting, beautiful lighting. Oh my poor boy. Oh my poor boy. My heart is breaking. My heart is breaking. My heart is breaking. My heart is breaking. Don't hurt me like that, AG. Do not hurt me like that. Do not hurt me like that. It's even breaking them as well. It's even breaking them as well. This actually hurts. I'll be the first one to say my heart absolutely hurts today. My heart really does hurt today. I just realised something. It actually is quite like the Warriors, because I believe the Warriors ends on Coney Island. Because if I remember correctly, the whole entire thing is about them getting to Coney Island, and then actually them saying that they didn't kill the bloke. I swear it's how it ends. It ends on Coney Island. So it's actually quite reminiscent of that. This is actually really intense. Like, this is actually really intense. Oh damn. Oh damn. Oh damn. Oh, damn. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow. Wow. Now that is a return. That's like, I don't even freaking know. Jesus H. Woo! Jesus H. Christ, my chest. That was intense. That was intense. I can't believe it. They actually returned and actually went bam, straight with just the best thing that they could have done. Holy crap, that was amazing. I can't believe it. Wow. I was like, this is going to be a knockout of an episode, but I didn't expect that, how they did it. It was absolutely impeccable. I must say, god damn it. I mean, just in the symbolism, the meaning behind everything as well, and in direction as well. The use of camera shots, it was freaking brilliant. I can't fault this episode in any way, shape or form. That was exquisite. That was just, oh man. Jesus Christ, that was so good. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh, I know. That part was actually really well done as well. That's one of the things that kind of struck me, because if you actually apply that whole entire story to Ash's character, it makes a lot of sense. It's one of the things that actually we're going to talk about, because if you actually kind of look at the storyline itself and actually kind of then equate what happened to the leopard inside the actual mountain, you actually can just get parallels between Ash's storyline as well, because Ash is kind of climbing a mountain that will otherwise probably kill him, and then he has no way of getting back, because if he goes back, he still will be hunted. It's one of those things I thought was actually quite well done, because even he knows himself how it is basically his own storyline, but the way it actually kind of integrates itself into the world itself, it actually does make a lot of sense. It's not as if it was just kind of thrown in there. It's not as if he's just saying it for the sake of it. It's actually kind of got a lot of meaning behind it. I actually quite like that aspect of the whole entire episode, because it kind of brought full circle his whole entire character in a way. It kind of tells you that he even knows himself, and it's actually kind of one of those things that I really did appreciate that part of the episode, because it was just really, really well done, because it's one of those things, it kind of made his character kind of feel almost go full circle in a way, but not kind of full circle just yet, because he actually hasn't accomplished the whole entire thing. But you could also in theory just mention the fact that he could have died with trying to kill Arthur. It's one of those things that it's one of those things that the actual storyline itself does actually kind of integrate itself well into his storyline, because you can actually put it anywhere into the storyline itself where you actually could in theory perish. You just don't know, and it kind of then, when you think about it, if you actually kind of then take what actually does happen to Leopard in the end, you actually can in theory then tell yourself that there's no kind of happy ending for him. Like, it's one of those things that kind of, it inadvertently raises a death flag for him if you think about it. It's one of those things that I thought about it just now. I was like, oh crap, it kind of does. Like, it inadvertently actually kind of puts a death flag for him. It's one of those things that it's kind of one of those, it's not one of those death flags that it's just like, oh, it's just come out of nowhere. No, actually kind of, when you think about it, his whole entire show has actually kind of hinted at this possible fate of Ash's character. It's not as if it's actually going to kind of be really happy. And that whole entire event with Arthur, yes, it has a lot of meaning behind it. It has a lot of things going on. But at the end of it, what does he accomplish? He accomplishes revenge. It's one of those things that we kind of, us ourselves, actually kind of feel a little bit satisfied with, that Arthur's now finally perished, and he actually has one half of the revenge. But when you think about it, at what cost was it all? Was it all? Because now he's kind of been hunted by the police. He's got no safe place to go towards, because even if he wakes up, he's gonna be kind of taken to prison. Who knows if he actually does get out? We don't know. It kind of then puts a whole entire spin on his whole entire character, that it kind of then tells you there and then there's still no safe place for him. There's no happy ending, because let's face it, he's still screwed, and it's kind of sad when you think about it. And I actually kind of like the fact that in the end, he didn't actually send AG away because it wasn't as if he's just like, please just get out of here, I don't ever see you ever again. No, it's not that at all. He didn't want to see him the way he is, and I actually quite like that aspect about him as well, because he understands if he actually sees him that way, he will hate him more for a different reason otherwise than just kind of saying, well, I can't be like this, I can't live like this. There's more to that whole entire sentence than what actually is led on. I actually quite like that sentence. He's not sending him away because it actually might in theory impede him. He's sending him away because he knows if he actually kind of sees him like this, he will hate him. We don't know if he does, so that's one thing with AG's character. You just don't know, and it doesn't seem as if he does. It's a thing, because I think AG knows the world that he actually inhabits. He knows what he must go through, and I think it's one of those things that it kind of works well with AG's character. He's trying his hardest to kind of go into the world that Ash is actually kind of in, and actually now at this point he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go. He wants to continue. And I feel as if this event might in theory be the turning point as well. This might be another pivotal point in a relationship to actually kind of make AG either say yes or no. But I feel as if he's actually going to say yes and carry on, because he knows that he's better off with Ash. He's as one of those things that Ash kind of needs him in a way as well, because let's face it, he actually understands the pain he's going through. It's one of those things that probably he's the only person that actually can fix him at this point, because let's face it, he hasn't really got anyone else. It's one of those things that if AG goes away, what can happen to Ash? Ash might go down as really destructive kind of road. We don't know. That's the thing. So AJ kind of being there is better for him, but in the essence, I actually understand where Ash is coming from as well. But the whole entire thing of Ash's character kind of sending AJ away is for his well-being, and also for the fact that if he sees him in the world like this, he will hate him. And I actually think it's actually kind of valid. It's not as if he's just sending him away because he just doesn't want him to be there. No, he cares about him as well. You can see in his own way he does care about him. He just doesn't want to see him like this, and I kind of like that aspect about him as well. Yeah, I mean, that whole entire thing with the leopard was actually really well done, I think. I really liked that bit. I thought it was really well integrated into what was going on. But as I said beforehand, sitting during the actual stream with the actual fight itself, it's not one of those fights that kind of just happens for any other reason, just for the fact that there hasn't been a fight for like, what, 5 episodes? It needed to happen. It was one of those fights that kind of yeah, that's the thing. Now that you mention it, you actually got a good point there, because in certain other shows, the whole thing with pushing a character away does feel a bit tropish, but here it makes sense completely, because it's actually kind of one of those things that the world itself is actually kind of attributing itself well to the whole entire thing of taking AG out of the whole entire equation, but AG doesn't want to go away. Yeah, it does. It really suits the character. You actually have got a really good point there, actually. Didn't think about that one, actually. Yeah, it actually does really work in the favor of the narrative. It's not as if it's just kind of there. But yeah, I mean, the fight itself, it's kind of one of those fights that we've wanted to see for a very long time, because we physically hate Arthur with a passion, because he's a massive arsehole. He's a massive booby man. Like, he's one of the worst people ever. So it's actually one of those things that it's actually kind of nice that he finally perished. But at the same time, it's like you kind of sit there and think, so beforehand, what did he accomplish? But I like the fact that the fight actually happened at this very one point, because the actual narrative itself hit boiling point at this point. It actually had to happen. It's one of those things that it didn't feel as if it's actually just kind of shoehorned in. No, it was all leading to this one moment. I actually quite like the fact that actually kind of led to that one moment. Actually, now it's actually kind of, we're kind of here, we have a lot more going on. It's not just the fact that, yes, he's dead. No, there's not just that, because the whole police are after him as well. AG's like, Christ, on a bicycle, what's going on here? What's going to happen next? It's one of those things you kind of like, yeah, it's not as if it's like, bam, stop, we'll just carry on doing something else now. No, this whole entire event has a lot of meaning behind it. I actually quite like that aspect as well, because it's not as if it's just kind of thrown away. No, this fight actually does, in theory, kind of possess a lot towards a narrative, and I actually quite like that aspect as well, because we don't know what the repercussions of this whole entire fight are. We know the police are there, we know the police are after Ash, we've got that whole entire aspect, but we haven't really got the fact that what could actually happen after this point. What happens to Ash's character? He might go to prison, but for how long? We don't know. It's just all those things. I think this actual part of the narrative actually kind of, in theory, just makes you go, Christ on a bike. It's just not very good. This whole entire thing shouldn't have happened in a way, but it had to happen in a way, because let's face it, the narrative is actually kind of gearing towards this one moment. It actually doesn't very work. So yeah, as I said beforehand, the way the whole entire fight itself was actually choreographed, it actually kind of felt like one of those fights you see at the end of a movie. Like, what could you actually attribute it to? Because I said the Warriors, because the Warriors actually ends on Coney Island as well. It's one of those things that the Warriors ends on Coney Island, so I thought to myself, Ash is actually a pretty freaking cool reference to actually kind of bring in. But then there's actually kind of fights that you kind of get that have been gearing up for a very, 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 very long time. When they're happy, like, yes, boy, it's happening. And I feel like this actual show did that pretty much perfectly. It did the whole entire choreographing, did the whole entire event just exquisitely done. And I actually kind of like the fact that it actually still had green everywhere, because green's a very prominent colour, and I feel like as if it was actually kind of utilised for this whole entire episode brilliantly. This idea of actually kind of a new life in a way. Like, this whole entire event will in theory kind of lead towards a new life for Ash. So that whole entire aspect was actually really freaking well done. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that actually kind of struck me as well is how much of a good shot Ash actually is. It's actually kind of scary. He's not just as if he's just shooting randomly and then say one shot hits someone's brain. No, all the shots hit the guy's brains. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I was like, holy crap. It was scary. It literally was. It's one of those things that it was scary. It's not as if he's just kind of shooting. No, all these things are kind of leads to the fact you're like, Christ, he's a pretty scary person when he's determined. Like, when he's got determination, it's really inherently terrifying to actually see him go down this and actually kind of do this. I mean, we've seen it quite a few times beforehand. I mean, he's got a good shot, but this episode actually kind of really proved that whole entire thing. Like, every single shot hit someone's brain. I just kind of thought to myself, Christ. Yeah, that's the thing as well, because I quite like the fact that they kind of brought back the whole thing about Ash and AG being Ash's actual Achilles heel. I thought it was actually quite well done, because 9 out of 10 times when someone's name gets called out, like, I don't know, when Rocky's name gets called out in Rocky, you're like, oh, he's gonna defeat the dude, he's gonna kill that dude. You thought to yourself, yeah, it's an empowering moment. The whole entire thing, when someone's name gets called out in the middle of a fight, it's the most empowering thing ever, because it kind of makes you go, yeah, and he actually stabbed the person, punched the person, or killed the person. It's one of those things that happens all the time. But here it was actually neatly subverted, because the way he actually shouted his name out, it actually kind of impeded him completely. I thought, that's well done, because it kind of brings back the whole entire theme of him being Achilles heel. So well done. That was also well mentioned, because it actually was a really good thing to actually kind of bring back the whole entire idea of the thing with the whole entire thing about him being Achilles heel, because it's true. In other mediums, the whole thing about being called out empowers the person, because 9 out of 10 times when someone gets called out in a film, it's when they're on the brink of being defeated. Like Rocky, I swear Rocky gets called out by the person he loves in Rocky 1. I'm trying to remember Rocky 1 now. It's been so long since I've actually seen that film. But you know what I mean? In like boxing movies, it's actually it's a very prominent thing in boxing movies, it's a very prominent thing in a lot of films. But when someone's name gets called out, they're like, yeah, and then it has that fade to white, and it has the characters then, and the person punches them and it wins the fight. It happens all the time, but here it wasn't that at all. It was very much after that he actually kind of accomplished it. I thought it was actually quite well done, because it kind of then proves to you there and then at that very one point that yes, AG kind of being there is good for Ash, but at the same time it isn't. It actually will be his Achilles heel. It will get him in danger. It might in theory kill him. We're not even too sure. That's one of the things that this show actually kind of possesses. It kind of does the whole entire like double-edged sword of Age's character. Age's character being this kind of savior for Ash's character, but at the same time not. It's one of those things I actually quite like that. Yeah, it's really neatly subverted, I think. This whole entire show really neatly subverts a lot of things that you can't expect to happen. I kind of like that thing, because it's one of those things that it breaks the whole entire thing of what you expect to happen. Like, you're like, oh yeah, it's probably gonna be like, he's gonna shout his name out, and then he's gonna be like, yeah, boy, and then stab him. But no, not at all. He gets stabbed himself, and it's just one of those things like, oh boy, that was interesting. Yeah, because that's the thing, because I think with Age's character, it kind of highlights the whole entire thing about him living in this different world of other than Ash's character, because he doesn't live in the same world as Ash. And I believe that's the whole entire thing of what he's trying to go for when he actually shouted his name out, because at that very one point, you could in theory interpret the fact that AG is going to Ash's world. But then at that one point of him going to that world, he's still kind of hinders Ash's survival in a way. And I actually quite like that aspect, because one of those things that you can tell AG's trying his best to kind of get into his world, but at the same time he's impeding his survival for the both of them, really. It's one of those things that it proves a double-edged sword for Ash's character and Age's character as well, because one of those things that together they do in theory work really damn well, but in theory not so much. And I quite like that aspect. It's one of those things that kind of really does highlight for the whole entirety of the show that they kind of work together very well, but not also at the same time. So yeah, I mean, really, brilliant episode overall. I can honestly say it actually was probably one of the best episodes of the whole entire year. It really was. I was waiting for this episode to actually happen. I was like, yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good. Oh, my throat's dying. There we are. My throat is dying. But anyway, yeah, so in resume, brilliant episode. Arthur's finally dead. Oh, that was even in flashbacks, seeing Arthur get flipped was actually really satisfying. Like, it was one of those things. It happened in the past, but just seeing him get flipped over, it's satisfying. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that it's kind of cathartic in a way, but at the same time you're like, oh no. You have that. It's that whole entire Steve Harvey meme, the one when he's laughing in the background, but he's doing that at the exact same time. It's a whole entire episode in a nutshell. It's a Steve Harvey meme. Like, it's just you're like, yeah, he's actually finally dead. Oh. But I mean, it was actually really well done though. The whole thing when he actually kind of fell down, I thought it was actually quite one of those things. It's very like one of those things you find these kind of mediums. But it was like, oh, okay. I was gonna say, I thought the ending was actually quite well done anyway. But the past bit was actually quite interesting. I just thought it was actually really freaking cool to actually kind of bring back, because you didn't really know where those scars came from. It adds a lot more weight to the whole entire thing. So yeah, that is me done for today. So as always, if you have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on Twitch, then do leave a follow, because indeed, there's something quite a bit. If you enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to leave that like, then do leave a like, because indeed, there's something quite a bit. If you enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to leave a sub, then do the sub, because indeed does help me quite a bit. And if you want to stay a little bit longer, then do follow me on Twitter, because indeed there's something quite a bit. Actually, we'll then know when these streams go live on Twitter, and also anything else actually does happen also. And then also join my Discord server as well, because you actually then know also when these streams go live, anything else actually does happen as well. But until next time, with Banana Fish episode 14, we're actually into the second core now. I will see you guys later. Bye for now.